Hello and welcome to Zirkzank Says. I am melancholy in such depressing times, as I come to you today to inform you that I no longer have the iconic Zirkzank Says tie. That is the orange tie that you will have seen in thumbnails for 2 episodes and that I've worn in about 3 episodes. But trust me, to me it's an important thing, that orange tie. It's a very special part of what makes Zirkzank Zirkzank, if I can make that claim. I just did, and I'm not taking it back. Which I'm not taking the tie back either, because I can't. Not that I want to. Even if I could, I wouldn't want to. But I'm just saying, I came to make a video, a new poetry video, because I've written a new bunch of poetry. Thought, yeah, right. I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling good in the good mood to be, making some poetry. This is how I dance when I do my poetry. It's the poetry dance. It's not. That was bad. What actually happened though with the tie? It's pretty interesting. You know me. I'm such an extroverted, outgoing, clubbing kind of guy, always partying. Well, basically, a girl came up to me and said, "Well, I like your tie." That I'm not just trying to make fun of the whole accent. This was in Hull when it happened, and she did have a Yorkshire accent, I think. So that's what I say. I'll get to that in a minute. I think because these places are really loud, so you can't hear anything. But I said, "Oh, I like your tie." I said, "Well, you can have it then," and that was that. I thought it was funny at the time, and that's all I tried to do. I tried to make people laugh. I'm still laughing at it. Right, you can have it then. The tie's gone. End of the tie. So I came to put my tie on to make this video, but I don't have it now. I'm like, oh yeah. So now every time I go for the tie, it's just going to remind me of that. I'm like, oh yeah, I gave my tie away. It's not a big deal. I can probably get another orange tie. But that one's special now. When Zirkzank gets as big as Bitcoin, that tie will increase 1,000-fold in value, and then she'll have something special if she hasn't already thrown it away. In which case, what a waste. You wasted a good tie. The best tie was an orange tie. Shiny orange tie. Goes well with black. Goes well on Zirkzank, but that's besides the point. Nah. I think clubs suck, though. That's my conclusion after going to about 5 clubs total. I went clubbing in Nottingham. Oh, actually, no, I've been to a club in Brighton, but that was not to be clubbing. That was to see Sun live. That's Sun bracket the drone metal band. I went to see them live because if you listen to them on YouTube, they shit because it's drone metal. It's about the bass and the amplifiers and that setup that you have going on there, where your skin is being shaken off your bones and you can feel afterwards and during it, it's like, oh yeah, my skin is separate to my bones and your face is just kind of shaking a little bit. Drone metal's much better live than it is on YouTube, obviously. And the atmosphere of that concert was cool. But I wouldn't really call that clubbing. I wouldn't call anything I've done clubbing, because when I hear the word clubbing, I want to club somebody, and it actually makes me cringe hearing the word clubbing. Right, so let's go south to north, starting with Brighton, but I don't count that. That was Concord 2 or Concord 3 or Concord 2012, Concord 2012, Coney 2012, Coney 2012. No, it was something, whatever, that. Then up to Nottingham, where I lived for a while I was doing university, when I was doing school, when I was doing college, actually, for a little bit. There was the club in there, Rescue Rooms, and NG Wad, and Bunker. Those are the places I went in there, right? That's not a Nottingham accent, it's just what I felt like doing. I'm going to drink some more coffee. But that was really fun though, going out in Nottingham, because that was my first time being out and drunk, and really drunk. And I went with friends, my housemates, good friends. That made that so much better, because I think that going out is really about who you go with, not where you go, and not what you drink. It's who you go with, because we have enough fun, or I would say a lot more fun, drinking when we went to pubs, like in Nottingham, the pub Pit and Pendulum, where they have those downstairs rooms and upstairs bits where it's like sectioned off, so you can still talk to each other, but there's music. You can hear the music, you can feel the vibe of the place that you're in, but you can still talk to each other, which I think is a big part of why clubs are shit, because you can't hear anything. It's like, oh, well, you're supposed to enjoy the music and dance and all of that, but fuck dancing. Like, I'll dance and I'll sing along with the songs if I know the song and if I like the song, but if not, it's just shit. And the club I went to recently in right, well, let's go back in chronological order, actually, because this is a short enough experience for me to tell you that I went to this all-night, supposedly gay club, or gay, it doesn't matter if it's gay, because all clubs are gay. Do you get it? That means shit. That's, that, back in my day when I was a kid, shit was a colloquial, shit still is a colloquial term for shit, but gay was also a colloquial term for shit. So all pubs and clubs are gay in the sense that they're shit, and that's my opinion. So don't try and say you're wrong, or you just had a shit time, or you just have shit taste, or your taste is gay. You know, bring that back. Why not? Your taste is a fag. Let's bring that back too. You fucking faggot, mate. That's what whole people say, but they don't, because it's quite progressive. Considering we're still living in the 70s here, Hull is quite progressive. And when I say living in the 70s, I actually mean the club that I went to. Wait, I'll get to that one in a second. I'm trying to talk about spiders, but first I want to talk about this club I went to called Fuel, which was a gay place. I don't think it felt that gay. No one tried to suck my dick, and I didn't fuck anyone in the ass, so you could fool me that it was a gay place, because I didn't do any gay stuff there. So joke's on you, people who don't go to gay places. I had a gay time there. No, it was fun. I went with my mum's friend, who I suppose is now technically my friend. That's how it works. You hang around with somebody, you make friends. That was a fun night, actually. But in that night, the most fun was when I came back and just started listening to music downstairs, like YouTube music. I know YouTube quality isn't great, but when you're choosing the songs, song after song, or someone else is choosing them and they also have pretty good taste, you know, that's ideal. You're having a conversation, you're listening to good music. Like, that's way better than going to a club where it's just really loud, shitty speakers. People are like bumping into each other, spilling drinks. It's filthy. The floors are either too slippery or too sticky, or covered in piss, or all three at once. How do you get slippery, sticky, pissy floors? Go to a club and you'll find out. I mean, that's not even the worst part. Actually, that's the worst part. That is the worst part. That and the bathrooms, which amplify that even more. You can get stuck to the floor in some of the places. I skipped out in Nottingham, the particularly bad Rock City, where that happens, but that's not really in the vein of things. So, going back to the big one that I wanted to talk about, this world famous North Yorkshire, at least, North England, northeast of Yorkshire, the best club in that area of England. By people who have been there, that's what they say. Everyone says Spiders nightclub. Been open since the 80s. They still have the same speaker system that they had in the 80s. That's why I feel like they still have absolutely everything that was there in the 80s, including the prices. Actually, I don't know. I'm making that up, but the prices are cheap. So I'll give it credit for good prices. I won't talk into the specifics of the prices because that doesn't make for entertaining video. But let's just say it's very cheap. It still costs money to go in. It's only open once a week, and it's open for about 5 hours. It's 9:30 till 2 a.m. But people usually stay in there until up to 3, basically. So it's open for quite a while. The thing that is unique about it, I guess it's not really unique, but it's people think it is that the music selection there is great. Let me tell you, it's not. They have 3 sound systems, 3 dance floors, 3 people sat on Winamp in different areas, different Winamps, because they just sat on Winamp. It really kicks the llama's ass, you know. Playing the same 50 songs over and over and over and over again. So after going there twice and hearing the same 50 songs played, thinking, the people who go here must really like these 50 songs. And they're not great. The 3 rooms, the upstairs area where they're playing like the Beatles, Elvis, that kind of stuff. The downstairs area where they're playing metal. And then the other area where they're playing alternate pop music, like Avril Lavigne, Smash Mouth, Muse, you know. Those are the ones I recognized, at least. There are tons of other like pop songs that I heard there that I just don't like. People mouthing along the words, dancing, having a good time, and I'm thinking the entire time, it's probably be more fun if they were playing good music. But people seem to really like the music that they play there. They call it indie rock, that genre that I'm referring to, but that's the most mainstream type of music you can get. You want real indie, go to SoundCloud and listen to a song that was made by somebody who has 0 followers. He just opened up FL Studio or Ableton or fucking Mario Paint, and he made just like some masterpiece song, and you're the first and only person to listen to it. He deletes it the next day. That's indie. That's indie music, right? Indie music is not stuff that you would hear on the radio. In my opinion, indie is independent. It's stuff that someone makes on their own. And sure, something that somebody made on their own can become played on the radio, world famous, and well regarded. But people mix indie and alternative as like a way of saying it's obscure. It's not mainstream. It's the off culture, but it's the most it's more mainstream and more popular than pop music, because people who are really into pop music, as in modern pop of 2017, 2016, modern pop now, are not as into music as the people who are into this supposed alternate scene. They're way more obsessed, and there's way more stuff going on there. So it's stupid to say that's not mainstream, because that is way more streaming in the main than the other thing. So getting back to clubs, whenever I've been, it's sort of always just been like an adventure, which is fine. I like adventures. Going from one place to another constantly. Always something new. Never really sitting down to have a rest. But you sort of shuffling around, then standing around, then maybe sitting, maybe dancing, and then maybe standing again. You're going from hot to cold, in and out, smoking area, back in the club where it's crowded and loud, go out, there's smoke everywhere, it's freezing cold. You can talk to people there, but I don't know. Is it great? Is it fun? Where's the fun in it? Like I said, I think the fun is who you go with and who you meet. I'm shit at talking to people. not talking to people. I'm shit at talking with people. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm good at talking to people, obviously, otherwise I couldn't do presentations. I couldn't do Zirkzank says. Maybe I still can't. Shut up, though. No, I can do this fine, easily. You know, I've been talking for 15 minutes. I can talk for like 2 hours. I can talk infinitely about random bullshit. That's not an issue. My issue is how the fuck do you interact with people who don't want to, who you can't tell if they're interested in talking to you. And I'm not talking about girls. Girl them. The girl them. I'm talking about just anyone in general. Be they male, be they female, or be they male, because there's only 2 genders. Well, technically 3 if you count hermaphroditism as a 3rd gender, which is arguable because the chromosomes allow for that, where you've, instead of an XX or an XY, you've got an XXY chromosome, I think. I can't remember. I'm not an expert on that subject. But who cares? What was I saying? Oh yeah, it doesn't matter who it is. I just find it's an interesting and weird thing to just go up to somebody and engage in a conversation with them. Because I could go up to somebody and just be like monologuing for 15 minutes like this, but I know nobody fucking wants that. I don't know how to ask them questions because why the fuck what questions do you ask somebody? Hi, what's your name? It's like a form that somebody's making a user account on. Like, what's your name? What's your email address? Can you repeat your email address to confirm it? Right. Choose a password that can't be any shorter than 6 digits and has to have a capital letter and a number in it. You know, obviously that's not what you say. You say, hi, I'm Zirkzank. And then they say, oh, nice to meet you, Zirkzank. But then they could also say, oh, I'm Zankzerk. And then I'm like, well, it's nice to meet you, Zankzerk. And then I go away because that's the end of the conversation. Or how about this? Where are you from? That's a common one. Like, that's a long story. Should I tell the long story or should I just say, well, I grew up here. I went somewhere else. I was born in another country. I've been around the country a lot. So where am I from? I don't know, actually. I really don't know. So I don't know how to answer that because technically I could be from any of the places. I could be from Germany, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I am. I was born in Germany. I'm not German. I wouldn't say that I have any German culture in me whatsoever. So how do you answer that? How do you ask that? Where are you from? I don't know how to ask it. This is the thing. Delivery is really important. I know that as someone who performs things poorly most of the time. But I know that performance is everything. What you say is about 2% of what you mean and what you put across. Same with body language. And fuck body language. I'm not even going to attempt that. You know, I don't want to try and crux myself on this kind of lack of social interaction throughout my life from playing video games. But when it comes to something like body language, that's something that you have to develop over years. You can't just say, right, well, I'll say stuff like this and not this. Body language is like an entire language that you do with your body. I've just explained that one for you. If you were going to go to some kind of acting class, don't even bother. I've just explained it and made it easy for you. You don't need that shit. No, it's very difficult to talk to people. That's what I'm trying to say there. It's not difficult to talk to people. It's difficult to talk with people. I don't know how to do that. Unless I know somebody already. I know what to talk to them about and how to say it in a way that they'll laugh at. Whereas if it's a complete stranger, I don't know anything about them. I don't know what they like or what would make them laugh. I can be observational about the place that we're in, but if they've been there more than me, or if I have nothing interesting to say that's negative, then nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear you complain, even in a joking way. So I could say, well, this place is a bit shit, isn't it? No one's gonna enjoy that at all. It's like, Wow, we really wasted some money here, didn't we? That's the last thing anyone wants to hear. I was like, oh, this song's fucking terrible. While they're just really getting into it, you're like, whoops, that's the wrong thing to say. Could make fun of the way people look or compliment the way they look. It's like, oh, I like your tie. But if you say that to somebody, they might give you the tie. So, you know, it could be worth it. Or you say, your tie is shit. Just a joke. It's your face that's shit. Something like that. That's the... That I think that comes across as enough of a joke. But it's still negative. And getting on people's good side or just being enjoyable to be around is about how you make people feel. It's not about what you say. If you just look at somebody, smile, you know, the whole, this kind of like, hey, you know, that's me trying to make someone feel good. Hey. You do that. A picture speaks 1,000 words. Or something along those lines. You know, that's got its significance to it. That kind of like, yeah, it's good. This place is, yeah. And then you don't even need to have any audible interaction, but I don't know. Is that enough? Is that how it goes? I don't know. I don't care. That's the biggest thing. I just don't care enough. It may be just that I don't get the adrenaline rush of empowerment and energy from being around people. I'm not an extroverted person. I'm a very introverted person, just in case you needed me to explain the opposite of that. So going out to those places just drains me of energy, and the entire time I'm feeling paranoid because I don't know what the situation is. I'm always trying to take in information, you know, really just get an idea of what's going on, who's doing what, what's playing on the thing. Have I got enough drink left? Yeah. Am I stood in the right place? You know, most of the time when I've been going with my brother, I end up just stood behind him. So I follow him around because he moves around in these fucking clubs all the time. In somewhere like Spider's nightclub, if you've ever been there, you know it's a fucking labyrinth. It's cool. It's a cool labyrinth, but it's very. There's lots of ways to get around it and lots of different areas to be. Every time I've been there, I follow my brother around. So I'm following him around, just hang out with him and his group of people, his mates, but he would call them pals or buddies or boyfriends because he's into that. But that's neither here nor there. So I follow him around, and I end up just behind him. He'll walk up to a group of people that I didn't know he was walking up to, and then he gets into a circle with them, and I'm just stood behind him, thinking, all right, am I just the backup Andrew for when he crashes? So he just falls over, just move him to the side and step in his place. Right, guys, I'm Andrew too. You know, is that doesn't feel quite right. Or I could stand behind him, turn my back to him, bodyguard, bouncer. You can't see my arms are crossed. What a bouncer would do. They don't stand with their arms crossed. They just have a fucking SIA badge on their arm. But yeah, that's that. That's what I was saying. It's about who you blow and who you know in this kind of places. If you don't like the music, you don't know the people that well, and you suck at talking to people, then clubs aren't great. Alcohol, though, once again, it's not great to drink alcohol and it's expensive, but it's not expensive if it's cheap. Riddle that one out, fucker. If it's cheap, it is good enough. You get a little bit of a feeling going, and I have such a fucking high tolerance to alcohol that I have to drink a lot to actually feel anything. That can be annoying, but at the same time, it's good because then I can't overdo it, really. But yeah, I just don't think clubs are my kind of thing. I'm going to keep going, though, because you need that. You need to build up a skill of talking to people. And how do you do it? By talking to people. So it's as simple as that. I don't think I'll ever like any of the songs that are there other than when they play something that I know and enjoy, which means that half the time I won't be dancing. Everyone will be dancing, and I'll just think, yeah, you guys can dance this, but I'm not, because it's very difficult to pretend that you're enjoying something when you're not. And it's not worth pretending to be it, because just, you don't enjoy it. Don't enjoy it. Go get a drink. Drink until you enjoy it. That's that always works. I think that's one of the biggest things about clubs, nightclubs, pubs, and life in general. Just drink until you enjoy it. That's the secret. If you take anything away from this, it's get drunk. And also, whenever you buy a tie, buy two. Then when you give one away, you'll have another one. I'm glad I gave that away though, because it makes me feel like I have a story. It gave me a 26-minute episode where I talked about clubs. I don't think I got to any of the points that I wanted to, which was about how clubs could be better. Where I would say just having a better floor planning, basically. If you could build one from scratch, better floor planning, better aesthetic planning, and better lighting, all of these kind of things, I could make a club that even I would like if I could do that from scratch. So I think at some point I might actually do that. If I can ever afford to buy a club and build one from scratch, that's what I'll do. I'll make a good one, and then you can see what an actual good club can be. Like, this is what clubs can be. I've said that with games, I want to make a game. So, look, none of the games I play really scratch that itch that I have. It's like, this could be better, that could be better, they really need to change this. I say, well, I'll make a game that is the way that I think games should be. But I've not done that since finishing studying about games, getting a degree in games production. How's that? I'm a Bachelor of Science. The science of games production. Fuck me, that's why I can't get a job. And that's why I'm complaining about clubs. I'm unemployed, going to clubs. My life has really gone downhill compared to when I used to play games 16 hours a day. I don't know. I don't think my life's ever been on track, really. That's the sad truth of it. But I think it's funny. That's the thing. I think tragedy is funny. Not everyone does. I don't know how many people I could walk up to in Spiders and say, 9/11, and start laughing at them. Or not laughing at 9/11, not them. Would they think 9/11's funny? Because, it is, but would they think so? Or would they be offended? That's the thing, you can never know. Most of my friends think 9/11's hilarious. But if you go up to somebody and just say, hey, what do you think of 9/11? They won't give you a genuine response most of the time, because they think they'll just say what they're supposed to say, which is, oh, it was a national tragedy, Viva l'America, or something like that, because in England that's what people say when you ask them about, foreign problems. So really what I was trying to get to was that I'm going to be making some more poetry videos. That was a long roundabout way of saying it, but thanks for watching.